The second module comprises of second half of your sensors and transducer. So in the first half we have seen the basic transducers like resistive transducer, inductive transducer, capacitive transducer and photoelectric transducer. In the second part, first topic is strain gauge. Now what is meant by strain gauge? First we should understand what is meant by strain gauge. So it comes under your sensor. So it is also a type of sensor where your resistance value will get changed. How the resistance value is getting changed? By applying some force. So when you apply some force, if the resistance is getting changed, then it is a strain gauge sensor. Normally the strain gauge sensor is utilized for converting force, pressure, tension, weight, etc. into a change in electrical resistance that could be measured. So when you apply some external force to the stationary object, two things will occur. One is stress or strain. Stress is nothing but it is the object internal resisting force, whereas strain is nothing but displacement or deformation that occur. So strain gauge is one of your most important sensor in electrical measurement technique, where you can measure the output with the change in electrical resistance. So first point you have to remember is strain gauge, it is a sensor that is utilized. Strain gauge, it is a sensor whose output is change in your resistance when you apply force as your input. It mainly used for converting force, pressure, tension, weight, etc. into an electrical change in resistance that could be measured. So when you are applying force, two things it gets exerted. One is your stress and another one is your strain. Stress is nothing but internal resisting force. Strain is nothing but displacement or deformation. Strain gauge, it is most important sensor in any electrical measuring instruments. Especially this is used for measuring your mechanical quantities. So as the name indicates, strain, there are two types of strain. One is your compressive strain and another one is your tensile strain. It means that when you apply a force, the change in resistance occurs due to the expansion or compression of your resistance. When you apply a force, there may exist either the object expand or it get compressed depending upon the nature of the force or amount of force that we are applying. So here two types of strain we have. It is tensile strain, compressive strain. These two strains are distinguished with the use of your positive or negative sign. Strain gauge, normally it is used to pick up expansion as well as your contraction. So strain gauge is a sensor that will measure the output in terms of change in resistance. It is mainly used for measuring your mechanical quantities, and there are two types. One is your tensile strain and another one is your compressive strain. When you apply force to the stationary object, two outputs you will get, one in the form of stress and another in the form of a strain. Stress is nothing but internal resisting force. Strain is defined as nothing but your displacement or deformation. So here the strain gauge is used to pick up expansion as well as contraction. The strain of the body. So usually the strain occurs because of some external influence or due to some internal effect. It is not that only because of the external force applied, strain is going to get occurred. Strain is occurred due to the external influence or by the internal effect. So strain, it might be caused either by means of your force or pressure or moment, heat, structural changes and of the materials, and like this, if any of things is possessed, then strain may occur. So if a certain condition has to be fulfilled, like influencing the quantity can be derived from the measured strain value. A special type of transducer for the measurement of force or the derived quantities, you can use this strain gauge as a special transducer specifically designed for the measurement of your force or moment or pressure, acceleration, displacement, vibration, etc. Normally the transducer generally contains a pressure sensitive diaphragm with strain gauge bounded in it. So this special type of transducer consists of one pressure sensitive diaphragm. Normally this special transducer comprises of a pressure sensitive diaphragm along with the strain gauge. Now we have seen the basic introduction, like what exactly the strain gauge does and what are the different types of strain, how you will identify the strain either by means of a positive sign or a negative sign, whether the object will get compressed or expand depending upon the nature of the force applied, and how the strain is exactly identified and what for this strain gauge is used for, and what is a special transducer and what the special transducer comprises of. The next is we'll see the basic working principle of a strain gauge. So what is meant by a strain gauge? Strain gauge develops one output that will reflect as a change in resistance. So how the resistance gets changed means by applying some force. So this is the simple diagram that shows your strain gauge. So it works on the basic principle of your electrical conductance. As we know, the strain gauge output is a change in your electrical resistance for the applied force. So it basically works on the principle of your electrical conductance, and also it depends upon the conductor's geometry. So two cases it occurs. One is when you apply a force, either the conductor gets expands or it gets compressed. So when your conductor is getting expanded, that is when it is getting stretched within the limit of its elasticity, because or to a certain extent only we can stretch. So if we stretch more, there may be a chance for breakdown also. That is why when a conductor is subjected or when it is stretched within the limit of the elasticity, then that particular object will get narrower and longer. Suppose if a conductor is subjected to a compressive force, then the conductor will become shorter and broader. Ultimately there will be a change in resistance. How we are saying there will be a change in resistance? When your conductor is subjected to a elasticity, that is a stretching force, at that moment your length of the conductor is getting changed and even the area is also getting changed. But when you apply a force, compressive force to the object, it means that the conductor is getting shorter. So when you compress, it will become short, but the width, that is border, it will get broader. Because of that, your area and length is getting changed. Therefore your resistance will also get changed. When the resistance gets changed proportional to the applied force. Either it could be a compressive force or it can be a stretchable force. So when you are applying your external force to an object, it tends to change its shape and size, thereby altering its resistance. The stress is the internal resistivity capacity of the object, while the strain is the amount of deformation. This we have seen in the previous class also. So stress is nothing but it is identified by the internal resisting capacity of the object. Strain is identified by the deformation and elongation. Suppose if L1 is the original length of the wire, L2 is the new length. So if a normal length of the conductor is L1. Consider L1 is the normal length of the conductor. When you apply some force, suppose if you are applying the stretchable force, the length of the conductor is getting changed. It means that it is moving on to the next level, new level of your length. Suppose if you are applying a compressive strength, that moment also your length is getting reduced. So when you apply a force, either the length increases or it decreases depending upon your expansive force or compressive force. Here we will consider L1 as the original length of the wire and L2 is the new length of the wire. So this new length of the wire is obtained after applying the external force. Now we will consider the strain. Strain is represented with epsilon. So we can consider the strain epsilon is equal to L2 minus L1 divided by L1. That is the change in length divided by your original length. Stress is identified by the internal resisting object, whereas strain is identified by the elongation and deformation. The strain is represented with epsilon is equal to difference in length divided by your original length. Now whenever you are applying an external force, the physical parameter changes. So when the physical parameter is getting changed, there will be change in your resistance. Obviously the strain is also getting changed and it could be measured by using a gauge factor. Therefore, when you apply an external force, the physical parameter is getting changed, like length of the conductor is getting changed, and hence your resistance of the object is also getting changed, and hence the strain is measured by using this formula, by using a gauge factor formula. In case of real life monitoring system, when you construct a concrete structure or monuments, you consider you are going to construct a concrete structure or some monuments where the load is applied, and the load application point of the load cell that consists of a strain gauge underlying it. It means that we need to identify what is the exact amount of force or pressure that is given to the stationary object. As soon as the force is exerted, the strain gauge is deformed, and this deformation causes change in your electrical resistance, which ultimately changes your output voltage. Now, as we discussed, the strain is identified by using a gauge factor formula. So what is meant by gauge factor? Gauge factor is defined as the sensitivity coefficient of the strain gauge. What is meant by a gauge factor? Gauge factor is nothing but it is the coefficient of strain gauge, and it is given by the formula del R. Del R is nothing but change in your resistance divided by gauge resistance. That is when your object is getting deformed, that time what is the resistance uptime, that is represented with a letter called gauge resistance into epsilon. Epsilon is nothing but your strain. Strain is identified by using L2 minus L1 divided by L1, that is change in length divided by your original length. The gauge factor for a common metallic foil. So here, and the gauge factor is not same for all type of material. For example, in case of your common metallic foil, it is usually little over about 2, and the output voltage of the Wheatstone bridge, SV, is given by the formula SV is equal to EV into GF into epsilon divided by 4. EV is nothing but excitation voltage of the bridge circuit. GF is the gauge resistance, gauge factor. Gauge factor can be identified by using delta, or change in resistance, divided by gauge resistance into strain. Strain can be identified by using your change in length. This is how we can identify the strain when the object is subjected to force. Now for different materials, the gauge factor is shown over here, and this is for your kind reference. You people can just make a note of it. Next, how the strain gauge, basic working principle. Basic working principle is change in resistance. So strain gauge basically works on the principle of your change in your conducting resistance, and which gives you the value of your gauge factor by the formula gauge factor is equal to del R divided by Rg into epsilon. Del R is change in your resistance, Rg is your gauge resistance that is obtained by deformation of your conductor. Epsilon is your strain, which is identified by your change in length. The length can be changed either by your compressive force or by your stretchable force. Now in practice, the change in strain of an object is very small quantity, which can only be measured by using a Wheatstone bridge. Here they have shown a Wheatstone bridge with 4 resistance R1, R2, R3 and R4. In this Wheatstone bridge, 2 parallel voltage divider circuit is formed. R1 and R2 forms one pair of your voltage dividing circuit. R3 and R4 are on the other end. Therefore, the output of the Wheatstone bridge is taken between these two, and it is given as R3 divided by R3 plus R4, because these two resistance are connected in parallel. This will form the voltage divider biasing circuit. So here output voltage V0 is equal to parallel combination of this resistance minus parallel combination of this resistance, that is R3 divided by R3 plus R2 minus R2 divided by R1 plus R2 into Vx. Vx is nothing but excitation voltage applied over here. Here R1 by R2 is equal to R4 by R1 divided by R2 is equal to R4 by R3. At that moment, your output voltage will be equal to 0. So when the bridge is in complete balanced condition, the output will be nil. Any change in your resistance value causes change in the deflection in the voltmeter. So if you replace this R4 resistance with a strain gauge, even a minor change, the bridge is under balanced condition, the output voltage will be equal to 0. When there is any change in, when the force is applied, there will be change in the resistance value. So when there is a change in the resistance value, according to that your output voltage will also get changed. This is how you will be identifying the strain. With the help of your change in resistance, your force can be identified by using your strain gauge.